Good girl. Hey guys, this is Megan from You Go to Beginning. I am out here with River. We are hanging out and I want to give an update. She is now 1 year old, and so I wanted to talk about how her training has been going, what she has been up to, some things that we haven't done super well, and some things that have been going pretty well indeed. Alrighty, so I was all set to make this video. I noticed that I hadn't made one about River in a while, and especially since she turned 1. She has been doing so well on so many things. And of course, in God's timing, as I was prepared to make a video about how great she had been doing, she ate a chicken. So, partially our fault, obviously partially her fault. And so I want to kind of talk about what happened, what issues we've had with chickens in the past, and what we're doing about it. But overall, she's been a really good girl. Let's see if we can get her to come. River, come. Good girl. So I didn't even have to beep her. Good girl, come. Yes, that's my girl. Hey, can you say hi to the camera? Look, River. So I am out here in the barn pasture. That is the fence with the neighbor dogs. She likes to monitor that. I've noticed, especially if we are out, she wants to guard that fence line even more. So if the kids are out here and along the fence line, she has a harder time leaving the fence line because she wants to make sure that everything is safe. So she comes out here, she checks what's going on, everything's all good. But she does come when she's called. Most of the time I can actually see the dogs are out by the porch. But she's been doing really well. So she comes when she's called most of the time. The only time I have trouble getting her to come is if she thinks she's doing her job, or if she's with the kids and I'm calling her away from the kids. She doesn't always respond right away, but with the collar, if I beep her, then she comes. So collar has been working really, really well. It took a lot of time and patience and a lot of repetitions to get her coming when called, but most of the time I can call her and not need to beep her and she will come. So I want to flip it around and I'll show and see if I can get her obeying this time. River, come. Good girl. Good. River, come. Good. So overall, I have been so impressed with her. She has learned so well. She comes when she's called. She can be out with us. I have noticed her guarding the kids. She likes to be with them. She will follow us down. She'll stay a little bit ahead of us, kind of check out the scenery, and then she'll come back. And she really sticks with us. We've had a couple of episodes at night where she has chased off some animals without a collar. The first night, she chased the fox and then came back. And then the second time, she chased the fox and realized that there was a hole in our fence. And she hopped out it, and she was actually in this little neighborhood here, and my husband had to go pick her up in the car, but she came right to him, came back. I'm so thankful that she was easy to find. So one thing I've really been working on her with just recently, and she's been doing really well, is to not go in a door or out a door without me asking. So I'm going to film this. I have a feeling it's not going to go super well because it's going to be hard to give her my full attention. And I've got stuff in my hands. But this is the barn pasture gate. So I'm going to try to go out it and have her not follow me. Nope. So it's open now. Nope. Good. So I stand until she respects that I told her no. Nope. And this is really hard to film because usually nope. Out. Good. Okay. Good girl. Good girl. So things like that she has picked up really quickly. We have noticed that she is really smart, which sometimes is trouble, but she is really smart. She picks new things up. I've really only started working on that with her in the barn and the like the feed stall and stuff when we're milking. I don't want her to just come charging in because she'll actually frighten the goats. So we've been working on that, and she's been doing really well. She is not perfect by any means. These are the chickens that she got herself in trouble with. So this little box of chicks, these are the laying hens we hatched. The girls are out here, so she goes and checks on them. It's been fun to watch her. She doesn't necessarily want to be pet a ton. I mean, she loves us. She wants to be with us, but notice she went and checked on the girls, but she's not really doing cuddles. She's kind of doing her rounds. She wants to go check on everybody, make sure everybody's doing all right, and then she'll come back, and when everybody's safe, then she might lay down and let you pet her some. But she's done a great job. She doesn't really wander off. Our goats are back here behind the fence too. So she is, you know, kind of hanging out here. Just kind of let her be. I could call her back if I want, but I've been trying not to give her more instructions than she needs. All the kids just ran into the barn. She started headed that way. But these chickens here, so these chickens are the laying hens that a friend hatched out. So they're, I don't know, probably almost 8 or 9 weeks, something around there. And so what we've been doing is we put them in the box just to move them around for them to have a place to be. But we've been opening the box and they hop out, they go all around, free range, and then they come back in, or the kids are able to catch them for the evenings. Well, yesterday, man, I should have known better. This is where it was our fault. While they were hopping around, they go into the barn pasture, and River was out in this barn pasture, and Ellie came down yesterday afternoon, and she was eating one. She has been around these chicks a bunch. She has been with us on the collar a bunch. She has been beeped a bunch about them, but left unsupervised, which was our fault. She is not old enough to be unsupervised with them, and we messed up. So that was our fault. We were able to catch her in the act, so we did come and really beep her and correct her. We've also had a couple of dead chicks with our meat birds, and so we've been kind of using those to help correct her. And then actually just here, while I was just starting to film, she found part of the chicken that was left in the field, and so I was able to correct her when she went to grab that too. So I think we're still fine. She'll learn, but we have to be more vigilant, and we have to make sure that we do not let her unsupervised with the chickens. So these are our layers. Some of them are really pretty. Most of them have puffy cheeks. It's really cute. We have 2 or 3 that have the stripes of a barred rock, but they have the puffy cheeks from the Americana, which is really fun. Most of these have puffy cheeks. We started with 15. A raccoon got 3 one night. That's why we started putting them in this box. They were just roosting in the barn, but a raccoon got 3 hens, or well, 3 of these chicks, and they got 1 of our guinea keats, which I'm not sure I've showed you yet. And so we have been putting the dog in the barn, and that's kind of where she got more access to some chickens. So these guys are in here hanging out, and I will definitely keep them safe, but I also want River to have some interaction with them and make sure that she knows she cannot chase them. These are our 2 guinea keats. We had 3. We're using this dog crate with some chicken wire around it to keep them in, so that way they can orient to the barn as home. We'll let them out soon, but actually the problem is that the dog is in the barn, so I can't let them out. Well, the dog, I want them to have the barn as home. We started with 3, and the very first night, they were in this crate, in this barn. They weren't in the stall like this, but they were in the barn, and a raccoon grabbed 3 chicks and 1 of the guinea keats. Raccoons are the worst. But since we've had the dog in the barn, we don't have a raccoon problem. We just have a dog problem. But no, she does not have access to them. She has not hurt the guineas or the baby chicks, which are right over the wall and all in here. They're all very cute. They're growing quick. See, she goes on ahead. She checks it all out. But she doesn't go too far ahead, and she doesn't run off. She has been so good lately. The chicken is a pretty big setback, but overall, she has been such a good girl. But she just hangs out with us, and you don't even really have to call her. She just walks with us. And I really, really love, she pretty much naturally picks up on the kids. She will stay with the kids, and that's been something we worked on. So when we first taught her to come when she was called, she would only come to me because I was the one that did all the work. So we had to teach her to come to whoever was actually calling her. And she's been doing really well with that. And then I want her to focus on the kids. Sometimes it can be hard to get her to follow if we're splitting off or if somebody is trying to put her away. But overall, even with just a few weeks, maybe a month worth of trying to get her to go to the right person that calls, she naturally does it, and she has naturally honed in on the kids. I haven't done any special training with the kids, but see, they're way ahead of me because I'm not walking that fast, and she is absolutely with Caleb. Caleb, call her to you. And she came. He doesn't have the clicker, I do, and I didn't have to. See, and that's her version of come. She comes and checks on you. There she is. She comes to check on you to make sure you're okay because you called her, but she doesn't come like a house dog would. And I mean, I could work on that training. I could get her to come sit right in front of me. I don't think it matters that much. But Caleb, her one flaw is she will cut you off, or she will literally run smack dab into you. There's the mouthing. Tell her no. Hold on, you gotta back up a little bit. You're too close. So have her run. So one of the things that she's been doing is she mouths. Don't go too far, then come back this way. She gets excited and she'll mouth at your hands. And with the kids, we really need to work on that. And I was saying earlier, if she was a house dog, that's something that we would have worked on all the time because she would have always had something. You know, she would have been so close to us, we would have had things in our hands. We would have taught her to respect what was in our hands. And we're working on that. It's just being an outside dog, it doesn't happen all that much. And then the other thing is to give us items back. She's pretty good, but she definitely gets away with whatever she wants. So she was just way up at the fence line. I called her once. I didn't beep her. She came right here. Yes, come. Good girl. Good girl. Good cup. Okay, free. But she comes back. Now, if something was over there barking or over there for her to really look at, I might have had to beep her, but we're far enough away that she comes. So the times when she doesn't want to leave is if like one of the kids was over on the fence line with her. I would be very hard pressed to get her to leave the kid to come back to me. And I'm okay with that kind of disobedience. That's what I want her to do. So it's been cool to watch her though, because she makes those decisions. And she'll ignore the beep on the collar if she thinks something is worth ignoring. So it's interesting having a livestock guardian breed. She's very different than a house dog. We've had a German Shepherd before was very, very smart, and she could be trained, and she was pretty stubborn, but it wasn't the same as this, like deciding to do what she wants because she knows, like her instincts tell her what to do. And so most of the time she listens great. She comes right back, and that took a lot of work, a lot of practice. But when she's on, she kind of makes her own choices. And so just continuing to work on her, and that's why we do have to be careful since our fences are not secure. But overall, she's been doing really well. So Caleb and I have been standing out here for a few minutes, and we haven't really moved. So we're standing in the section of trees that the boys helped cut down right behind our building here. And so as we've been standing here, we haven't been moving. I've been watching back my videos and stuff. River walked along the creek and then up the fence line, and she's just watching, making sure everything's all good. But she isn't like running away. She isn't wandering away. She can definitely see us. She keeps turning back and checking on us. I can see her kind of looking at us. Now, most of this fence line is pretty good. This gap in this fence line is way up here when you get to this downed tree there. And it's this yard here that has a couple little dogs that sometimes she gets excited about. So she is standing there watching, but she's not super intense. It's hard to see from here, but I can tell that her ears are not forward. She's just relaxed. She's just watching, mouth open, hanging out. And then she kind of looks at us and walks up a little further. Caleb, why don't you call her?
Come. Come.
Tell her good girl.
Yes, good girl.
What a good girl.
Come on, yes, come. Come. Good girl. Come. Come. Yes, good.
Good girl. Hey, you. So overall, we have been really happy with River. She has been such a good dog. We are really happy with the Karakachan breed too. It has been really cool to see her personality come out and the way she naturally guards things. She just pops over. She's always checking on the kids, which is exactly what we wanted. We got her to guard our farm and be safe with our animals, but we also got her to guard the kids and just to make sure, to guard the kids and just make sure that everybody was safe so the kids could play out here in the woods and not have to worry about stuff. And she is really doing well. We do have holes in our fences, so she's always going to need a collar or something just to make sure that, you know, she's safe and listening. But I'm really excited for her future. I'm really happy we got her. There were a few months there where I wasn't sure if we'd made a good choice. And even with the chickens, it's worth it. She is a great addition to our farm. And I would definitely recommend her breed for the purposes like we have, because she's really friendly to the neighbors. She's never growled or barked at one of the neighbors that comes up. She lets them pet her. She's super people friendly. That's what we wanted. She does bark at delivery people and stuff. She's not often up by the front of the house. She barks at them. That's what I want. Strangers come in, I want her to bark. But overall, if we're out and she's meeting somebody, she is really friendly and I love it.